Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly incredible story. We're looking at a guy whose sheer curiosity didn't just shift the culture of his time, it literally rewired the world. We're talking about Benjamin Franklin. And we're not just looking at him through the dusty lens of history, but as an absolute masterclass in innovation.
So who forever changed the world? I know, it's a massive question, right? Usually when we think of world changers, our minds jump straight to military generals or, modern tech billionaires. But today, we're teasing out the story of someone whose daily habits of just constantly asking why and how laid the absolute groundwork for the modern conveniences you and I take for granted every single day.
All right, let's dive into this. Scientist, inventor, visionary, founding father. Most people, well, they really only remember that last one, right? The politics. But to truly get Franklin, we have to recognize that he was juggling all of these wildly different roles simultaneously. I mean, he wasn't just drafting the Declaration of Independence, he was actively decoding the physical laws of the universe, inventing things like bifocals, and, believe it or not, even mapping the Gulf Stream.
Section 1. A fearless visionary. He's often described as a pioneer whose ideas continue to inspire generations. And look, that's not just historical hyperbole. His visionary mindset set a totally new precedent. It laid down a direct template for what it means to look at a natural phenomenon, not with fear, but with this burning, undeniable desire to understand it and actually harness it.
Now, what's really interesting about this contrast is how easy it is to view him conventionally, as just a founding father. But the broader truth? The man was a hardcore pioneer of science and technology. His groundbreaking technological achievements were these distinct, world-altering milestones that go way, way beyond his political identity.
Section 2. Colonial roots and curiosity. Because you have to remember, he didn't just wake up one morning as a world-changing pioneer. It was a step-by-step evolution. We're talking a progression from humble beginnings, moving right into groundbreaking experiments, which led directly to the invention of the lightning rod and ultimately culminating in a lasting impact on civilization. It was a journey driven entirely by just relentless determination. And it all started with incredibly humble beginnings in colonial America. I mean, picture the reality of that era for a second. He was the 10th son of a soap maker. There were no research grants, no fancy modern laboratories, and definitely no internet to look up the answers when he got stuck. Touching on the extreme modesty of these origins really highlights just how cinematic and massive his later achievements truly were. He literally built an empire of knowledge from absolutely nothing. Which brings us to Section 3, groundbreaking electricity experiments. Looking at his precise scientific process shows exactly how abstract thoughts floating around in a visionary's mind transform into concrete, tangible innovation. Step 1 was fearless exploration, which naturally moved into Step 2, rigorous experiments with electricity, and finally Step 3, resulting in a physical, concrete invention, the lightning rod.
And these groundbreaking experiments with electricity? They were completely revolutionary. Think about it. At a time when electricity was viewed as this terrifying, mysterious force, and while other scientists were literally electrocuting themselves trying to study it, Franklin was systematically breaking down its properties. He famously conducted that 1752 kite experiment, discovered positive and negative charges, and honestly, fun fact, he survived his own close calls with high voltage, mostly by sheer luck. He was out there demystifying this terrifying force for the entire globe.
So the crucial point is that true innovation, at least in Franklin's context, was the translation of those abstract electrical experiments into highly practical tools, like the lightning rod. He didn't just want a textbook understanding of the universe. He wanted to apply that science to solve real-world problems. He protected homes, ships, and lives from absolutely devastating fires. Now that is true innovation. Section 4. A lasting modern legacy. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer breadth of his physical and intellectual contributions. We can draw a straight line from one singular invention, the lightning rod, expanding outward to his massive contributions to science, to technology as a whole, and ultimately his permanent, undeniable impact on modern civilization. Just consider the world he was born into. Colonial America, lit by candles and completely, entirely vulnerable to the elements. Now compare that to modern civilization, a world powered by the very forces he began to tame. He was the literal bridge between those two wildly different worlds, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt the lasting impact of his discoveries. It's just so fascinating to connect his internal traits directly to these tangible physical outcomes. His inherent curiosity, that resulted in monumental discoveries in science. his sheer determination, it literally built the lightning rod. And his fearless exploration, well, it continues to inspire generations today. It really reinforces how deeply a personal mindset can directly create a permanent physical legacy. So, how will curiosity and determination inspire the next generation of inventors? Because Franklin's historical spark isn't just some dusty story from the past, it's an actual blueprint for the future. As you step away from this explainer today, I really want you to reflect on how that exact same fearless exploration can continue to ignite brand new innovations in our world right now. Keep asking those big questions, keep exploring. And hey, thank you so much for joining me to unpack this incredible life.